Hi there, it's Autumn Stormcaller with the House of Witchcraft. Welcome and come on in.
Hello, hello, Crossroads Witches and other interesting magical folks and beings. You know, I'm not going to forget y'all. All right, as y'all can tell, first we're back at the cottage. It has been a while since I've been able to get down here with my own personals. And then, of course, we do actually get cold here in California.
Yeah, I walked in the cottage and it actually had a chill.
We have a night air here where we're at. But I'm so happy. I'm going to keep talking. Y'all can tell I got me one of our cottage witches up here. I have got Miss Autumn Stormcaller. She's also an artist. So we're going to make sure that you can contact her. But today we're going to be talking with her about bones. More, what we're really going to talk about is divination with bones. Autumn does that form of divination and has recently done a workshop here at the cottage, which was so just darn good, witches. I wanted y'all to hear what she had to say. So I asked her if she would do her workshop for y'all. All right? And with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Autumn.
Thank you so much, Taren. So for my class, I kind of went over several different things with the divination. Not only just the aspect of reading the bones or, you know, collecting them, but also connecting with the spirit of that thing that has been deceased. So, like, you see one on the side of the road and you're like, oh, well, it's been ran over. Maybe I could, you know, if I can't take it, and if it's against your state law, because some are like that, you can go to the side of the road and park and just make a little funeral area for it, say some blessings. But if you are in an area where you can collect bones and you can collect parts of animals, then you also kind of want to have that same respect when collecting those bones. Like, leave something behind as a thank you, and also use these items like you would respectfully. Like, don't just throw them away like after being like, well, that's unusable. It's like there's a lot of many uses. You can have it sit on your altar and like inspire you when you're doing divination, but also you can have it as divination tools, and you're respecting those tools as well, because on a full moon or whenever you so choose to charge your items, I would typically like smoke cleanse them or put them under the full moonlight to charge them and like give them some attention. Sometimes I like to even dance with them.
I have chicken bones, y'all. I just brought up here. This is our bones. They're just old chicken bones, but they're not just old chicken bones. These have now been cleansed, blessed, and worked on.
Yeah.
And at this point forward, they need to be treated for the sacred tool they are. And that's what you're talking about. Is once you become the caretaker of these bones, you need to treat them for the sacredness that they are. All right? Whether you choose to display them or you choose to use them for divination like what Autumn's doing. All right? I just had to put that in there.
Yeah. But I totally agree. That is like the most important part, I think, is just connecting with those bones before just immediately taking them, because there are going to be some creatures that are like, no, I want to rest here.
Do you have permission?
Yeah, in a way.
It's really what you're like asking the spirit, the animal, do I have permission to use this?
Yeah.
You know, and only you will know that answer. All right? And you know how you feel inside, and that's what you honor. If it don't feel right, for any reason, you don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay? If you feel like, look, I'm saying, just, you know, even if you can't bury it, put some flowers on top of it and say a couple of words of a beautiful transition, whatever is your way.
Just giving it that moment in time is just good enough, I think, even if you can't do anything with it.
I do. I think that those little moments are very powerful.
Yeah.
You know? All right. We're going to get on to what's in Autumn's bag. And how you acquired these different items.
So, some of these I've gotten from friends. So, this coyote bone was actually from a Renaissance fair. The other ones are more parts of my collections of things. So, deer antlers. And some of these I've cut. So, this one has like a cut in it. It was like a full antler at one point. But each antler, because of the way I cut it and some of the markings I've etched into it, it has different meanings as well. So some people do like to add like an extra design to it.
And some people may paint them.
Oh yeah.
Or put, and it's common, I know, like you can use chicken bones for divination, like what she's got. You see it's laid out in equal arm cross pattern, and they'll paint the chicken bones different colors.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them too that I've, like, they will take the hide just like I've done on this hide, which is just rabbit fur, white. And I've painted on it as well of the 4 directions. And then in the center is a purple divinity star. So it's kind of just like that sign of like the divine is present. There's some entity that is here.
Perfect. All right, keep taking your bones out.
And then this is the coyote femur. This is actually my first bone that I ever collected with my brother. And that was an exciting day.
But also I want to point out, which is if you are putting together these bone bags, each of them has to have a story.
Yeah, I feel like you can't just pick it up and be like, oh, there's no story behind it. I just grabbed it. It's like, you gotta tell some people a little bit more. But more stuff. I have shells in here. This is another natural item, and the reason I put it with my bones is because a lot of shellfish and like different types of fish in the ocean that have shells are going to eventually shed them. So in a way, it's kind of its like dead shell.
Well, it's exoskeletal system.
Yeah, literally.
So it really is the bone of a shellfish.
Yeah, so that's why I definitely consider the shells you can also put in. And there's other things you can put in too, like, I'm just gonna dump it out.
Good, right? I was like, you can put anything that you feel compelled to put in your bag. I think the hardest thing is that there is no list of rules, list of things.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, what you put in your bag is going to be your stories, those energies that allow you to connect to these spirits and to use it for forms of divination, forms of protection, all right? You know, forms of blessing. I was talking, I have my little collection of small animal skulls, and I like to put my mole skull on my altar.
Oh, okay.
When I'm looking for clarity or searching.
Oh yeah, that is a good reason.
Right, does it make sense to you?
Because they're always digging in the ground looking for like little food or whatever to eat.
And so I want that mole energy sometimes, and that's what I'm showing. I have, mine are all in pretty little containers.
I'm jealous of those containers.
I'm an OCD, we were talking about it, you know, but I don't use mine the way she uses hers, okay? And that was something to be aware of, is that we're all going to connect differently, witches, okay? How you use your connection to spirit realm, animal realm, using bones, it's going to be different how Autumn does it. It's going to be different how I do it. Okay? Like I said, I like the skulls of different animals. I keep them. I'm very peculiar about where they go. They have their own shelf. I take them out periodically and talk to them. I haven't named them yet. I might. But Autumn uses hers for divination. And so it's very important that they all connect and have this story. And each piece is a piece that Autumn energetically, spiritually? What are the, you're like, it's
kind of just a combination of everything, because it's like just being physically present, being spiritually present, and just mentally being there and just experiencing. And also just the process of like cleaning the bones and taking care of them and then drying them and making sure they don't mold away.
I put my chicken bones in a double bag, brown bag, staple it shut, and I put it in my dryer.
Oh, really? I'm going to have to try that when Grandma gets a new dryer.
Okay, I'm not going to say it's good for your dryer. But I will tell you, I have found it does a great job with like chicken bone size. I don't know if I would use it for like one of the bigger type bones that you have in here. But for small bones, I found if I double bag it in brown bags, and then you need to staple that sucker shut.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of staples for that probably.
Put it in your dryer for about a half hour. You will have the nicest dried bone. Okay, yeah, just things I've learned. All right, but let's finish up. I want to hear. Y'all, she sits around our fire and throws the bones, and you can feel the magic coming, because what we encourage here at the cottage, we get our bonfire, that full moon, we'll all sit around and do our own forms of divination. And all of the witches have leaned into your bone divination.
Oh yeah, there's been some times I've just leaned over, I'm like, hey, do you want your reading? And Dana at the end is just like, ah, crap, you're right.
They're really accurate. I do have to. You are. All right. So we keep talking. Let you pick up some pieces and explain some more why you have these.
So I have metal coin in here, and not only do I use this because it connects like kind of the earth to me, because it's a type of metal. It's literally, you know, a quarter. So for me though, I know you can't see it, but there's a bat holding a baby bat, like its mother. Here, maybe.
Run up to there and show them.
Focus. You can do it. Yes.
Oh, there it showed it. I would say, y'all, it's just when we put together these bags, like I was saying earlier, there is no list of you have to have or you need this or whatever. These are all personal items that you How long did it take you to put this bag together?
Oh, definitely like the last of whole year, basically.
I would say you've been working on it for over a year.
And then I'm still adding to it because I got gifted raccoon bones as well.
I have a penis raccoon bone. I love my penis raccoon bone. That's my big thing. I'm like, ah ha ha. But, but I know just because it was like year before last when you did the rabbit fur.
Oh yeah, that was like in the middle of circle. I did the first one for Hecate, and then
that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's why I want you witches to know, this isn't I want a bone bag divination, I'm going to go get all this stuff and put together today.
Yeah.
All right. Putting one of these bags together should take you time to allow the universe to let some of these pieces find you, to allow you time to connect and to have these stories and to be like, hey, this needs to go in my bag.
Yeah.
All right. And that's really how you feel. And you're like, why does it need to go? It's not that it's logical. It's that you feel it.
Yeah, some of the new bones I actually do plan to add for the chicken that passed away recently. I'm actually going to put her leg bones in there because her thing was that she'd always run up to me every morning and just like try to be like, food, you know, and she actually like knew her name and would jump over the fence and like fly to me, and I was like, oh, sucks that the damn, you know, dog got her.
Farm life keeps us real about that whole circle of life thing.
Yeah.
Autumn lives on a farm. I did used to. I'm going back. Past couple of years doing a little bit of that pretend city life. I'm like, I'm going back to the farm. All right, I do have a couple questions. How many items do you think somebody starting out should have? Is there an amount? Do you like have any?
Well, if it's like they really want to like start small, at least 6, but I'd say like my average recommendation is definitely like 13, because it kind of gives you a number of different things you can kind of grasp and like look at and just be like, yeah, I think this is the right thing that I want in my oracle, or no, I'm gonna leave that back on the shelf. I don't want that.
Have you put something in the bag and then decided it didn't work?
Yes, because there's been times too where it just falls out and I've like constantly tried to put it in and it's just like, nope, nope, nope.
Oh, it's sort of like the universe saying it doesn't want to go back in the bag.
Yeah, so it's just, there's those times I'm like, oh, maybe later I'll try again, but yeah, this one doesn't want to fit.
And so it's for you, like I said, she's been doing this a good steady year, going on her 2nd year with working this and everything. Do you feel like you need more things? You said you had a couple of plans, but are you actively searching for pieces?
So with the deck, it's the oracle itself, kind of, because there's those more meaningful bones to me, like the chicken. That was my, recent pet, and that one I really feel like, it should go in here. But then there's other ones where it's like, I feel like maybe I should have it be jewelry if it's another chicken bone, and like either wear that or gift that to people and kind of mark it as like, oh, well, it's protecting them. It's like that necklace they can wear and be like, oh, she's protecting me.
Bones are very strong protectors of our spaces. Like I said, I love my bones. I have that connection to life, and
the reminder of just death.
And yes, yeah. For me, that connection's very, very important.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got in here, y'all? I said it's just so fascinating.
So I have like the deer's skull bone. I actually can see I cut the antler off, and that's where some of these other ones came from. And when I talked about earlier shaping them, you can see I like made this white at the edge, and then on this side it actually lays down flat, so it has the chance to lay down like this and be like representing of a wave of emotion, kind of. But then,
so you know that when it's laying like that, it's a wave that represents wave of emotion.
Yeah, but then when it's laying a different way, it's saying like the wave of emotion is split in half. So it's like a very, like the possibility of going through that is a lot less. And
do you assign meanings to each of the bones, or do the bones tell you what they mean?
So I kind of throw them before I shape them and see how they look on their own, and like also just let them kind of explain themselves as I throw.
Right.
And then if that bone, if they like in the reading that basically of like testing that, it's kind of just being like, no, don't mess with me. And then, but then sometimes you have a bone that will be off in the corner and they'll be like, hey, I'm over here though. So it just really is dependent on like how they land in that test one before I do anything to them. Because sometimes like the first bone I've got, I haven't done anything to this. I haven't even like fixed the stain on it. So that one's very natural.
What else do you have?
I have actually a little acorn in here.
What does that represent?
So that represents like fertility and like being grounded in the earth, because acorns, they usually like fall into the ground and like root and plant themselves. So that one is more just like just being around the earth, and also just being like full of growth and like fertility basically. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna land and stay grounded, I'm gonna be myself and grow, from that. There's so many, so But I do have other things, like we were talking about. There's no list to what you have. This is obsidian.
It's a really pretty piece too, by the way.
Yeah,
it's really got an interesting shape.
Yeah, this one I definitely picked out because it has like a sharp side, so it's kind of just being like, oh, you're protecting yourself. You have your, you know, your sharp parts out. Your spines are coming out to protect you, basically, because it's just like this kind of blade on this side, and then on the other side it's just blunt and bumpy, and it's just like, you're just kind of in this cloud of like, oh. Sorry, I got distracted.
It's okay, Miss Autumn. We'll give her a second here. Witches, the rules to your bone bag are the ones that you create.
Exactly.
All right? Whatever you decide to put in this bag is your bag. And let it take its time, let it have its journey. Spend a year and a day, 2, 3, 4 years. You know?
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever stop with this, to be honest.
You know, this is something that slowly develops. It starts with walking in the woods and really connecting.
Yeah, I feel like if you're in an area where you can access just a massive wooded area, definitely just go hiking and just breathe in that fresh air and, you know, touch grass, basically. Well,
also you want to go to where a lot of these animals live. You know, I was talking about the mole. I like to use my mole skull and some workings when I am searching, when I'm reaching, because like you said, the mole's this little busy, forever seeking guy. I have this whole visual imagery. You need to know sort of its environment, its characteristics, its personality. What is it known for? What's its natural instincts?
Yeah, and sometimes even with the bones, I look at anatomy, so like of that animal, because the femur, it's like that's the third segment of the coyote's leg. So it's like sometimes I take the number into consideration.
Oh, I love that as well. You know, and again, this is about how you relate to each of these pieces, all right? And I want you to explain what you have, the metal rose.
So the metal rose is definitely a double meaning, because, again, it can land this way, or it can land this way. So it could either mean, oh, well, I have this rose facing towards me. Someone's trying to get my love and affection and attention. But on the other hand, that's just a nail there. So that's just saying someone's trying to just get at me emotionally. Someone's trying to do something nefarious.
What compelled you to put a metal rose in your bone bag?
Well, again, it's like I was thinking of like, oh, what could I connect to different elements as well? And this, I thought of the metal again. And literally it has a rose on it, so earth to me. So again, that was also a gift from my grandmother. And
it's amazing how the universe will line up those items. That's where you're like, patience, witches, patience. All right.
Also, the extra cool thing about this, you can put essential oil and scent it. So if you're doing the reading, sometimes even that might have an effect.
That's nice. That's nice. All right, what else you got up in here?
Oh, well, I'll show this. This is a shell, but there's actually a ribbed bone from a deer. And then, oh, it's hidden in there. It's like stuck. There's a quartz crystal.
Of course we have to throw in some shiny rocks.
Exactly.
I'm like, I've always give a witch a rock and they'll be happy. You know? and there it is again. And anything else you would like to tell us before we finish up here? I'm sort of trying to keep this because I know y'all busy lives, and I'm trying to keep videos good and short for y'all.
I think I'm pretty much good. Just definitely a reminder, respect the bones if you go out and search for them.
And I also do want to recommend a really good book.
Oh, yeah.
Of Blood and Bones.
May I recommend one?
Yes.
So Bones, Shells, and Curios is a really good one for bones. And she talks about a different method, but it definitely goes over it, and it gives examples and explains. So I recommend that one a lot.
Definitely do research. Take your time. If you are called to working with bones, you've heard her say it a couple times, you've heard me say it, respect, respect, respect. All right? And once you have created them, make sure you keep them in that special space. All right. I also want to say thank you to all of my YouTube subscribers for supporting this channel and giving me the time, the opportunity to make these videos. I just want y'all to know how grateful I am for each and every one of you. And if you are wanting to get up into our business, you want to know more about us and everything, we have the 13 Moons community. Actually, you do have a workshop coming up.
Yeah, tomorrow, actually.
Oh, no, it's tomorrow. Oh, y'all shout out. I don't know if it's going to come out that fast, but we have virtual full moons, we have workshops, we have handouts, we just have opportunities for witches to get together and chat with each other. Is the biggest thing. If that's something you're interested in, please go to houseofwitchcraft.com. And of course, if you're new here, I'm going to say, welcome home, witch. There is a place for you in our community, but you're going to have to get up and go get it. All right? So, with that said, I hope y'all have as bright of a blessed day as we're having. Go out there and fly those brooms. And as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and ebobo.